Hello, this is Johnny Good from UltimatePaperMache.com. This video will show you my recipe for making a brand new sculptural medium that I call paper mache clay. This material will cover a form much faster than paper strips and paste, and it will allow you to create much finer details than traditional paper mache pulp. It only takes about 5 minutes to make. But first, you need to take a trip to the hardware store to pick up some of the inexpensive ingredients. To make your clay, you'll need 1 roll of toilet paper, 3/4 of a cup of white glue like Elmer's, 1 cup of joint compound and 2 tablespoons of linseed oil, which you buy at the hardware store, and 1/2 cup of white flour. You'll also need a large bowl, an electric mixer, a measuring cup, and a tablespoon. To keep the finished clay from drying out, you'll need an airtight container. The recipe makes approximately 1 quart of paper mache clay. First, fill your bowl with warm water. Remove the toilet paper from the roll and throw it into the water. Push down on the paper to make sure all of it gets wet. Now pick up the paper and squeeze out as much water as you can. Pour the water out of the bowl and put your paper back in. If this is the first time you've used this recipe, you should now measure how much paper you actually have, since each manufacturer makes their rolls a different size. The recipe works with a roll that contains about 1 1/4 cups of paper, but if your roll has a lot less, you may need to use 2 rolls. Now break the paper into chunks about 1 inch across. This will allow your mixer to move around the pieces and break them apart. Measure all of your ingredients and put them into the bowl with the paper. Mix it all up with your electric mixer for at least 3 minutes. The mixer will pull the fibers of the toilet paper apart and turn it into pulp, so the clay will be nice and smooth and easy to use. When the clay is done, it will look a bit like cookie dough, but don't eat it. This clay is not edible. When you pick up a bit of the clay, you'll notice that it is still a bit moist. If you pull a knife across it, you can make the surface quite smooth, especially if the knife is slightly damp. You can also mold fine details into the clay with modeling tools, your knife, or a dampened finger. It can be spread onto your form almost like you would frost a cake. If you want, you can add more white flour to make a firmer clay. If you don't plan to use your clay right away, place it in an airtight container. You can use this clay to complete any of the tutorials that you find on UltimatePaperMache.com. I hope you'll visit, and thank you very much for visiting.